Hi everyone. So today we are going to solve the fourth question, that is permutation in a string. So we are solving sliding window and it has a category like fixed size sliding window. So we are doing that, and so far we have solved three questions, and if you haven't watched, please watch this because this question is slightly difficulter side. So not that much difficult, but let's see. Okay, so this is the question we have, and let me let me explain the permutation uh, before moving to the moving this question, because the permutation is required for this question. So let me explain it. Permutation, what permutation means. So let's say we have a string a b c. So this is our string. Now if you try to figure out all its permutation, then you'll see like you are just changing the position of every character, and while keeping the frequency of every character. What the frequency means, if you calculate all its frequency of every character. So in this string, A has a frequency 2, B has a frequency 1, and C has a frequency 1. This is the frequency map. And if you create some permutation from this string, then you have to maintain this frequency, and you doesn't care about the positions. You can place A at the first position, or the second A at the last position, and B and C in between. So this is one permutation. You can like put the A at the second place, and again another one, A as third place and B and C at the end. This is another permutation because it maintaining the this frequency map. This is the frequency map, and if you try to figure out all its permutation, then you will observe something, that is, every permutation has the same length of its original string, you can say. Okay, and the every character frequency of every character would be same, or you can say must be same. So these two conditions are there, then the permutation is there. So this is the permutation. Now let's move to the uh, before moving the main question. I have included one more question so that it is if you solve this question, then the main question is very easy. So the question says, this is the question. I have a two string, let's say A B C, and another string is this like B C A. So you have to return true if both if S1 is the permutation of S2, or you can say vice versa, S2 is a permutation of S1. We have to return true if they are permutation of any of them. So permutation means, what permutation says, they have same lengths. First of all, we have to compare, is they have same length? Yes, they have same length. If they doesn't have same length, then we directly return. We don't have to check the second condition. We directly return false because they don't have the same length. Okay, now we will move to, if they have same length, then we have to check the second steps, that is, every character have the same frequency. How we are going to check? There is one way I'm going to show you. There are multiple ways to check. Like you can create a frequency for this S1. A has a frequency 2, B has a frequency 1, and C has a frequency 1. And you can create another map. This is for S1 map. Let's call it S1 map. and this is S2 map. Let's call it S2 map, and count the frequency of every character. B has a 1, C has a 1, A has a 2 frequency. Now you compare these two. A has a 2 frequency, yes, both has a frequency. B has a same. C for C, yes, it is same. And yes, they both the frequencies are same, so you'll just return true. This is one way. First way of doing the check. The second way, the time complexity will be like big O of n. You are creating big O of 2n, you can say, because you are using two map. It is a space complexity, sorry. The space complexity would be 2n because you are using two thing, two map, S1 map and S2 map. Okay, there is another way, second way. Let me take A, B, C, and S2 would be B, A and C. So what we are going to do is like we will create a vector of size 26. Why 26? 0, 1, 2, 3. Let me do indexing. Then I will explain why 26. This is 25. 26 is because in the question it is mentioned, if you go to constraint, it is mentioned that S1 and S2 string consist of only lowercase letters. So how many lowercase letters we can have? Only 26, because alphabets characters are 26 A to Z. So 0 is representing A, 1 is B, 2 is representing C, and so on D, and 25 is representing a Z. So this is a frequency map, you can say, frequency map of size 26, and initially all the frequency of every character is going to be 0 because we don't have. Now we will go one by one to every character of S1. This one we will go one by one every character and increment the count. Like I have encountered A, so I will increment by 1, so it will become A has a frequency 1. Now I'll go to its next element, that is A, so I will increment that frequency by 1, so it will become 2. Now go to its next character, which is B, and I'm going to increment by 1, so it will become 1. Then go to its next, it will C is going to increment by 1, so all other is going to be 0. So A has a frequency 2. Let me erase this and write it properly. A has a frequency 2, B has a frequency 1, and C has a frequency 1. So this is the map we have. Now if S2 if S2 has to be permutation of S1, then if I'll do decrement, then all the characters should go away. That means, let me show you, if I have a frequency like this, A has a frequency 2, B has a frequency 1, C has a frequency 1, and another one string I have, that is A has a frequency 2, C has a frequency 1, and B has a frequency 1. And if you compare this thing, they are all equal. So if I'll do the negative, like if I'll go to, this is S2, if I'll go to every character one by one and do decrement for every character, so there is 2A present in S2, and if I do minus 2, then it will become 0. Then B has a frequency 1, and if I'll do minus 1, it will become 0. And C has a frequency 1, if I'll do minus 1, it will become 0. So at the end we will get 0. Every character is going to be 0. So if I'll get this thing, then I will return true, because I have to check for the frequency only. If there is an extra, like E has a frequency 1, then here E has a frequency 0. So if I'll do minus 1 over here, so it will remain minus 1. So there is something which is not cancelled. So that means this is not the permutation. I will return false. So this is the approach I'm going to apply over here. So let me show you in this case. This is Z. Okay. Now we will go one by one to S2 character. So we have encounter B. So we will decrease it, like B has a frequency 1. So I will decrease it minus 1. So it will become 0. Now go to next A encounter. So it will become 1. Then this is also A. So it will become 0. Then C has a frequency 1. It will become 0. As you can see, every character in this map has a frequency 0. So these two are the permutation of each other. So this is the concept I have to tell. Now let's go to the main question. What main question says, like we have given two, one second, two string. So A and B, let's do EID. What is it? I am taking the first example of this question, that is EID BA triple O. EID BA triple O. So we have to return true if S2, this S2 string contains the permutation of S1. So as you can see, this is the permutation of S1 BA, because it has a frequency of A, one has a 1 and B1, and here it is also A has a frequency 1 and B has a frequency 1. So this is the permutation and we are going to return true. For this test case, the answer would be true. Okay, let me erase. How we are going to do? So we are following the same approach, how we check the two string is permutation or not. So first of all, we will create a vector of frequency map for S1. For S1, we are going to create up to Z. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. 25. 0 represents A, 1 represents B, and so on. C, D, E, and 25 represents Z. So this is frequency, you can say, of has a size 26. I will just uh, A or B. So we will initially all the character has a frequency 0. So let me do that as well. And I will go to one by one. A, increment the frequency. Then I'll encounter B, increment the frequency. So now the frequency map looks like this: 1, 1. Okay. Now, so when I'm explaining the permutation, what is permutation, then I told you that the permutation of every substring should the same length. So what is the permutation of this string? It has the same length. So it that means it has a size 2. The all the permutation formed by this string, they also have the length 2. So I will create a window of size 2 initially. So we follow two steps. First of all, create window. Second is going to be move window by adding or removing, by adding and removing elements. Okay, so we follow these two steps. So first of all, we will create a window. So creating window, in this case we are going to decrease the thing, because we have to match the permutation. We have to check this and this is the substring, this is the substring, and this is the string. We have to check these this substring is a permutation of this string or not. How do we check? We just decrement the characters frequency. So let's do that. Okay, so this is the map, and now I will go to each and every character for that window. So this is our window. Let me erase first. Okay, this is our window. So I will go to every character one by one. E. So I will decrease the count. So it will become -1. Then I, there is I, let's say this is I'll decrease the -1. So now every time I created the first window I have created, so I will check if my frequency map all the characters has a frequency 0. If all the character has a frequency 0, then I will return true. That means there is a permutation present. So in this case, this is not the case. So we will move our window. So now the window will become like this. The D is included and the E is excluded. How we will exclude E? Since we have decrement, so now we will increment. So -1 becomes 0. Okay, so this is 0 and D is included. That means we have to decrease the D, so that we have to cancel out. So D, let's say D says D, we have to decrease the D, it will become -1. So the final things look like this. Let me erase this thing. 0, this is 0. Yes, this becomes 0 and D become -1, and I have also I, so this is I, and the I would be -1. Now again, you are at this window I and D, so you'll check the frequency map. Is my map every element becomes 0? No, there is 1 or there is -1 as well. So this is not the permutation. So we will move our window. Now window would look like this. Let me erase this thing, and now this is our window. So we are including B into our map. So including B means decreasing. So B is going to be decreased by 1. So it becomes 0. Now uh, I we have excluded. I we have excluded means we have to increment this. So it will become 0. So let me erase, and this 0, and this is also 0. So now this window is created. Now I have to check, is my frequency map become all the elements become 0? No, there is 1 and there is -1. So there is no permutation present. So let me erase this. Now my current window is this. Now if I move my window, now my window will become like this. A has included. A has included means we have to decrease the A, and D has included. That means we have to increase the by 1, so it becomes 0. Sorry, this becomes 0 and this become both become 0. So this would look like 0 and 0. Now the window is created. Let me erase this window, and the current window is this. So if you check the frequency at this particular moment, you will find all the uh, characters frequency is 0. So at this moment we will just return true. So this is the way, and if we haven't find any permutation, so we will just move the window one by one, and at the end we will not find, then we will return false. So this is the approach we are going to follow. So let's just implement it quickly. Okay, so we have to let's create a n1. It will store the size of s1 length, and n2, it will store the size to len. Okay, so we will just we have to create a frequency map. It has a size 26. Initially all the characters frequency going to be 0. Now I will go to every character, int I equal to 0, I is less than n, I is less than n1, I plus plus. Okay, now I have to go to every character of S1 and I just increment the count of every character. So it is going to be frequency of uh, S of I. So let's just store the character in ch. It will be S of I. So frequency of ch minus a. So why we are doing this? Like, let me show you. So we have created a vector of size 26. Okay, so this is like 26, sorry, 25. So we will start 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. So A represents character. If you have any character, let's say I have a character like B, and if you do minus A, so if minus A has ASCII value like 65, sorry, A has a ASCII value is 65. I'm not sure. Let me search ASCII table. I think yes, 97. I think, sorry, 65 is the bigger one. Mhm. One second. Let's go to image. Okay, so as you can see, this is 97. So the small A has a ASCII value is 97, so this is 97, and small b has ASCII value is 98. So if you do 98 minus 97, you'll get 1. So b is representing 1. So for a minus a, it would be 97 minus 97, you'll get a 0. So a 0 represents A. For the C minus A, and 90, I think 99 minus 97, you will get a 2. I think, I hope. Yeah, 90, yes, 92, 2. So 2 represents C and so on. So this is the why we are doing to get the index. To get the index, we are doing this, and we will just add those things like f frequency plus plus, so it will increment. If the free initially it is 0, it will increment by 1, then again 1, then again 1. Okay, so we have created this. Now we will go to we will create a window. So here we are creating window. Create a window. How we are? So int I equal to 0, I is less than uh, n1. So the size should be, so we have to check if my n1, if my n1 is greater than n2, then I will return false, because no permutation is formed. Since s1 is very greater, if you uh, and s2 is very small, s2 is as compared to s2 is smaller as compared to s1, so this is not possible to find the permutation in s2. Okay, so that's why we have do this. And I plus plus, I will decrement ch minus a. So ch would be ch is s2 of I. So this is s1, not okay, s2 of I, ch minus a, and frequency of ch minus a we will decrease. Now we will create a function called is empty. We will check in this um, empty. In this, we will pass the frequency, and if it returns true, that means we will return true. This is basically checks all the characters is has a frequency 0 or not. So we will implement this eventually. So let's proceed further. We are assuming this will return, and this will give me a boolean thing that the all the frequency element has a 0 or not. And let's go to the next. So for now we are just the implementing the second step, that is move the window. Okay, moving window from n1 and less than n2 I plus plus. Okay, now chr equal to s2 of I. Now we have to we are including this. Including means we are decrementing this. Okay, so if I have this one, if I am over here, so I am including, so it will be ch minus a, so decreasing, and frequency of s of s2 of I minus n1 minus a plus plus, incrementing. Okay, now we will check if, so I will just this copy this thing and paste it over here. If my frequency of all the characters becomes 0, then I'll return true, otherwise I'm going to return false. So let's implement this function. This is going to be boolean bool is empty, and we are receiving a vector, let's say frequency uh, for int I equal to 0, I is less than n, I plus plus, not I is less than n, it will go 26. If my frequency of I is not equal to 0, then I'll return false, otherwise I will return true. So this is the code we have. Let me run this. This is accepted, and let me submit this. Okay, this is accepted. So this question is slightly trickier side. So mm the remaining question we are going to do in the next videos, and there is only uh, two problems left of fixed size sliding window, so we will do it in the next video. Okay, so thank you for watching.